Well, hello, good evening and welcome. It's been a while, guys. So hope that you can all take time to come and join me. At the minute, it's saying that I've got a couple of people out that are coming in. So I've been doing a little bit of a course just over the last week or so about promoting yourself. And one of the things it says on there is to don't go to any great lengths to explain why you've been absent. Right. Well, I'm not going to do that as such, but what I am going to say is that I've been very busy. I've been working really hard at various shows and live events and things like that. And this is the one part of what I do is kind of eludes me a little bit. So I've been making excuses over the last couple of weeks as to why I won't go live. Anyway, tonight I've done a video on YouTube. And what I've done is I've done my best to promote. So I've left all of my stuff up, all of this on here. Hi, Kate. Hi, Sam. I've left all of my stuff set up in the studio. Right. Already. So, guys, we're going to get scammers on here. So if you can do me the favor of getting rid of them. I would really appreciate that, because this is part of the reason why I've not doing it. So just bear with me again while I get rid of these comments, because I will keep on them. If you can see any that's coming up that's not genuine, if you wouldn't mind just blocking and banning and that sort of thing, I would really appreciate that, guys. It's really, really quick that they've come on tonight. So part of the reason is Facebook don't do anything about these to work with your energy, and then you have lots of people in the background that are working just as hard as you are to put stupid comments on. And I was reading a post just before I came on that was saying don't get engaged in all of that sort of thing. Don't give them power. So if you guys out there could help me a little bit, I would really appreciate that. I'll come on as a bit of a lone wolf tonight, as you can see with the background. The plan is to just do some quick card readings there. The main reason for coming on is to say thank you to Facebook viewers that, you know, it's now reached over the 2,000 mark. So I genuinely appreciate that. But my biggest drive at the moment is to crack the YouTube audience. So if you know anybody that would be interested in my sort of work with the spiritual guidance, with the readings, with just me being me on here, because I always have an honest natter with people, then I'd appreciate that like and that subscribe. So just have a look at a few of these comments. How's things? Well, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that, Andrew. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Hi, Andrea. Right. So what I will do is, like I always say to you guys, I'll do my level best to keep up with any comments. If anybody, hi, Michelle, if anybody wants a card reading, and I'm going to go through them as quick as I can, because I do have this habit of dwelling on them. This is really raw tonight because, as I say, I've been sort of fiddling around with various different setups and things like that. So I've not got the uniform on. I thought, right, there's no excuses, no prep time or anything like that. Let's just crack on and do it. So if anybody wants a card, please let me know, and I will work through as many as I can do. And I will just make sure as well, because there are people that will join from YouTube. And the thing is that I don't always see all of the comments till the end. So if you guys are here from YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're all friends here together. Thanks very much. Right. So what I'm going to do, Michelle, is 3 cards very, very quickly. Right. Okay. We're going to get into this, get into the flow of things. Right. So, Michelle, the feeling at the moment is that we're waiting for this new start, this new beginning. We're trapped by a little bit of our own reluctance and a little bit of fear. So when I've got the full card there, I always say to people when I pick this card that everything's in play until it's not. So don't eliminate choices out of fear. Make those bold choices and go back to how you used to be when you was a youngster, where you would go and do and attempt things just out of the sheer fact of I'll have a go at them. You know, the Fool is anything but I look at the significance of the number on this card where it's 0. So 0 is ground zero. So we're looking at building foundations. We're looking at building those new starts. I'm feeling a little bit fuzzy around your energy and a little bit clouded and a little bit overwhelmed because I've got 2 other cards there. I've got the 6 of Cups, if we can get that just in the right sort of style there. And I've got the 7 of Cups, which is progressive. So the 6 of Cups is all about nostalgia and being locked into influences from the past. Now, it's great if you've got that sort of impetus to say, right, I want to move on with something. But then you get stuck by, oh, if I can't do it, you know, past history's dictated that I've not done very well at this. So I get a little bit lost, or I go and visit the past because the past was better. I'm like bringing you up to date now and just giving you a little bit of a shake there and saying, right, yes, the past was how you remember it, but was it that rosy? So it's like moving things out of the way to get yourself moving forward. 6 of Cups there is also about choices coming in there, and it may well have an influence from the past, but always make sure that if people from the past or unfinished businesses that is there, ask yourself why it is unfinished. Ask yourself why the things there is in the past. So it's underlining things for me. So getting a bit of closure before we move on to these new starts. But then I'll get into the 7 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups really is about making positive choices, bringing in that upliftment that you're actually looking for. What the 7 of Cups also talks about is don't be overwhelmed by choice. You know, don't feel under pressure with stuff. So for me, when I've got that 0 card in there with the Fool, I'm open to anything because there may well be a few surprises thrown in at you over the next few weeks. Just be ready to embrace anything and everything, but don't get bogged down in I've got to make a decision. But quite equally, don't get stuck in procrastinating. So there's lots of promising feelings around these cards, but as I say, don't hesitate. Just do your homework as you would usually do, but make a choice, because I always think that procrastination is nobody's friend. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you there, Michelle. Thank you, and we will move on. Right, my friends, let's keep going. Right. So we've got somebody here there that's already filling up my thing there. So if you guys could block, ban and delete, that would be really appreciated because I can't keep up with it. Delete comment. Right, okay. So guys, this is probably one of the reasons why I don't get involved in all of this sort of thing. So thank you very much. Right. So, Katie, let's see where we're going. I'll keep up as much as I can, guys, and I won't get distracted, hopefully, by the things. But if I miss any and they come on there, can you please block, ban, and report? I'll get as many as I can done there. So, let me see where we're going. So, Katie, just putting these cards out there. Quick three card, my own teeth in there. Just want to bring in a gentleman's energy around you there, Katie, that is affecting my speech pattern there. I feel that he may well have had false teeth or some difficulty in speaking towards the end of his life, because I felt there as his energy came in really close, I was tripping over things. When I get that feeling as well, it could be somebody that's had Alzheimer's or dementia or the stroke condition, because once I start to connect in with that, it affects my voice and I start to slur and stammer and things like that. So I'm just bringing in a gentleman's energy from the spirit world there that's bringing a lot of love and support for you right around this moment. I'm not concentrating so much on mediumship tonight, but if they come in, I will always deliver a message. So 3 cards for you, Katie. And right, so I've just shuffled those cards, interestingly enough, and I don't know what the chances are of this happening statistically, but you've got 3 cards here, and we've got the 6 and the 7 of Cups again. So as I was saying there, I'm not going to change that. So it's influences from the past affecting current decisions. It's things there that's unfinished business. It's stuff that I've got to take care of. It's like a blast from the past in your case. So having a look and not getting distracted by anybody else's sort of, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of the right words, projecting their insecurities on you and sort of taking charge of your thought processes, having a look where people are affecting in the way that you're thinking, because you're kind of like tied into everybody else's emotions. I don't know whether you are an empath, Katie, or whether it's just that feeling at the moment of just being a little bit tied up in quite a lot of an emotional stuff going on around you. But like I was saying in that previous reading there, when the Seven of Cups come in, this is all about making positive and uplifting choices. The orange on the card is all about the gut intuition. And when I go around the gut intuition, I always talk about what the gut actually does. And if you think about what the gut actually does, it gets rid of waste products. So any waste energy needs processing and getting rid of, listening into your intuition and making those choices that benefit you. Don't get too bogged down in what other people want for you or what other people think. As it says in my lovely book that I wrote, opinions are like bumholes, everybody's got one. So it's one of those things that I would be going, right, shh, Katie wants to speak. Katie wants to make a decision. And I don't need all of the distraction in the background, because what I've got there that confirms that for me is I've got the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands for me is all about petty distractions, petty fighting, and people squabbling and basically getting in the way of a good thing. So when I look at the five there, five for me is all about not quite having all of the details in place. So I think over these next few weeks and going into the holiday period, Katie, it's a time for getting things sorted and getting yourself organised. And not getting done by the distractions of other people. So as you go forward, take a lot of love from the gentleman that was coming through in the spirit world. And I am getting the smoker's cough around me as well. I've never smoked, so I know that that's coming in from spirit. I also want to say that to deal with that anxiety and nerves over a certain thing, what I'm being told there, I've got the death card being shown in front of my eyes there. The death card for me is all about endings. And once you've accepted the endings in things, then we can begin that transformation. So good luck, Katie, and I hope that's okay. Right, let me just keep trying to block as many of these wallies as I can. I'm not going to give them the time of day. And then I will get round to people there. Right. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate that. I'll keep... we want to ride that one, don't we? This is where I get distracted. Right, so I'm going to keep going. I've got a lot of people here. They just filled my timeline. Thank you very much. Hi, Dizzy J. Much appreciated for tuning in, guys. I say it's a joint live, and this was one of the reasons why I wanted to keep my YouTube and my Facebook separate. But I thought, when I look back at what I wanted to achieve, so I started out, I've now got 153 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm really, really proud of that. But I thought that a lot of people would migrate across from Facebook. So there was the thought of wanting to do guidance and help people and give them sort of spiritual guidance and work with all of the skills that I've used and I've been trained in. But it's not transferred that way across. So I sat in meditation and asked the spirit world what was the best thing for me to do. And what they said was give the people what they want. And what they tend to want, from what I've seen, is the 2,000 odd subscribers that I've got on YouTube want the reading. So that's what I'm going to do. And once I get that where I'm built up on my YouTube channel, then I will maybe start making changes. But for now, what I'm going to do is keep doing like book excerpts, any sort of readings that I've got, and also the spiritual readings and the tarot cards. But I need to get my head around it all again. So thanks very much. Right, so people think that I must be daft. Please may I have a reading? Right, let me have a look there. Please may I have a reading. I need some guidance from the spirit world at the minute. No, you don't, AD. You just need to keep being you. You just need to keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. I don't know where that's going. I think that's Bon Jovi, which if John Bon Jovi happened to look in there, he'd be turning over and going, oh my God, what's the bald bloke doing? But that's what's just being said to me. Keep the faith, keep the faith, keep the faith. Right, guys, keep going. We'll keep going because, as I say, they are filling up my timeline again. Oh, that's quite a bit come out for you there. So I'm going to get through these really quickly because there's 4 or 5 cards just fallen out there, and I'm just trusting that they're in the right place. Right. So you are... once again, and I think we have had this conversation before, in the middle of the Tower moment, and I love the Tower card, my personal favourite in the tarot deck, purely because it means tearing down old structures. It means getting rid of any of the waste products that have accumulated in your life. It is about restructuring and reshaping. And rather than panic about it, what I've learned over these last couple of years is to take a step back, grab a brew and watch it all come to bits. Once it come to bits, then I step in and I rebuild, and I trust in my own inner being that what is meant to be is meant to be, and what's not, that's the good thing. The life itself has a way of eliminating it and taking it out of your way. So you might be feeling anxious, you might be feeling that you're on the wrong path at the moment, or you might feel like there's decisions that you need to make, but rest assured, what I'm being told by a lovely gentleman in the spirit world is keep the faith, is to keep pushing on down the pathway that you've chosen. It is difficult, and I get this. I really do. You won't believe what I've been putting myself through in regards to what I'm doing, because for those of you that don't know, I actually went full time with this business at the end of last September. And there has been moments through that year where I've thought, I'm just going to give this up. And yet here I am now into the 14th month, and I'm still going, and I've still got a roof over my head, and I've still got food in my belly. So I know that I'm meant to progress on with it. So it's one of those things as well with your AD. If you're not quite comfortable or happy with what you're doing, don't be afraid to change your mind. Anyway, new money, new finances. So just get that right on the, I'll struggle with that camera angle there. We'll just get that right. We've got the Ace of Pentacles there. Anything to do with aces is new beginnings in new ways in the way that you derive money. So whether that's a business idea, whether it's a new job interview, whether it's a promotion, there are things out there to come in for you over these next few weeks that are going to give you that much needed direction. The High Priestess, this ties in there with my Keep the Faith theme there, because the High Priestess is the link between the esoteric and the practical life. She also links in with your confidence and links in with tapping into previously untapped potential. So there are answers out there for you to discover over these next few weeks, but don't panic. Keep yourself in a time frame where you're in charge of it. Maybe you've just got to compartmentalize a bit of stuff that's going on around you at this moment in time. Maybe it's not entirely relevant to keep raking over it. Maybe it's just time bound that, yes, it does need doing. Don't kind of procrastinate over it, but also don't get stuck into that panic mode. Keep doing what you're doing, keep exercising, keep getting out there in the fresh air and clear your mind. Because if it's not giving you upliftment, or it's not giving you that better feeling, you all know what my version of things are, is chuck it in the effort bucket and move on. Don't get bound and tied down by stuff that hurts you. Look at it. If you can't do anything about it, then it's time to move on anyway. So we have got, speaking of, we have got the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords for me is moving past an emotional time, moving past upheaval. I look at swords. Swords are a matter of the mind and the intellect. They also talk about the thought processes. And the thing about a sword for me is I visualize it as cutting through any illusion, any bullshit that's going on around you, getting rid of it, passing that off, getting moved past it. Don't put it behind you. Deal with it in this now moment. If there's any doubts or anything like that, get it to present you with evidence, because your mind is a funny thing that if you let it best you can soon get yourself tied down. So what I say when I've got any of these worrying, anxious thoughts coming in is, right, prove it to me. If they can prove it to me, then I know I've got to do something about it. And if it's just what I call the monkey chatter going on, I send it on its way. Either that or it goes in the previous mentioned effort bucket in the corner. So, and what we're also looking at there is we're looking at the Three of Pentacles. So this timeline that you're on, where you're improving yourself, where you're doing your college, where you're doing your courses and things like that, is saying keep your pride, right? Have pride in what you're doing, because what this is doing is putting foundations in place for when you will make more money out of what you're doing. Just do the best that you can with the time and say, don't let pressure get on top of you. Take a step back every now and again, because when we're in the tower moment, it is exhausting because it's very real. It's in the now. It's in the now moment. And I don't talk about stuff coming in there. What I think about is, right, it's there for me to deal with. It's not in my imagination. So it needs dealing with now. And once it's dealt with, I can then move on to the next stage. So organization. And as I say, keep the faith. Right, guys, let me keep going. I'll get through as many as I can, guys. I don't do any writing down. This, as I say, is as raw as it was going to be, purely because I've been procrastinating. This is where I like to sort of put my money where my mouth is. I have been wanting to come back on for about 3 or 4 months, but I've just got bogged down with all of these spammers and things like that. But now I've realized I need to crack on, because I want to crack into America and South Africa, because I've had the opportunity to work online there. And I want to get where I'm doing other people's podcasts and doing things like that. So basically, I need the practice. So when I'm on here, I know that I'm connecting in with my guides and inspirers, and I'm really, really happy with that. But I need to do more of it, because you can get bogged down. I don't know whether it's laziness. I'm not quite sure of that, because I don't think I've been lazy. But then if that thought has rose into my mind, then maybe that's what it is, because there's no physical reason why I can't do it, because this is my full-time job. It's just the energies have been really, really strange at this moment in time, and I found it quite exhausting. And I could give you 1,000,001 reasons, but I'm back. I'm on it. You know, I'm not going to be able to commit to anything particularly, but as we get towards the end of the year, I want to be doing more and more of these. Right, let me have a look where we're going. So, keep going there. It's our chat. Yeah, I do as well. Hopefully, at some point, we'll be able to catch up and have a brew somewhere. So, yeah, let's hope so. Right, Andrew DeFreitas, I think we just did that. Right, I'll keep highlighting that. Oh, and here's a man. If you're still on, Ian, thanks very much. He was in the inspiration for today's video, one of our previous chats going back a couple of years. I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to jump on. Like you said, progress is progress. So I just cracked on. I dropped that video on there. That was the 3rd attempt, because the dog's barking spoiled a couple of them. But I thought it needs doing, and we've got to get on with it. So thanks as usual for your support. Thank you. Susie Dutton, yes, absolutely, my friend. We will do that for you. Right, I'm being told to turn over a card for you. Yeah, right. I'm gonna give you this card, right? And please don't think I'm being condescending or a little bit like cheeky or anything like that. Just around you at the moment, just take time out to breathe. Right, and when this card comes in for me, I love these cards because of their simplicity. You can't quite see the colouring of this because I'm sat against a green screen there. It does shine out the green, but the green is all about the heart chakra. It's all about the emotional center. So this is talking about you just slowing your energies down a little bit, getting out of that sort of panicky mode where you've got to get on and get everything done at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Maybe speaking as quick as what I'm doing, because it doesn't work with yourself. You know, we have to sort of slow the delivery down, slow the energies down, so that we know truthfully what we're looking at. And the other thing is, for me, when the heart's running the show, the emotions are running the show, it doesn't let the analytical mind come in. And if the heart's running the show, then the second brain there around the navel area, which is your intuition and your gut feeling, doesn't get hurt. So this is about taking some healing, taking some time out to stop and assess what's been going on over these last 6 weeks. So I'm being told. Now, I always say about breathing, it's the most natural thing in the world that we can do without thinking about it, but yet we sometimes seem to forget. So it's just maybe that reminder. And I'm being told there's a lovely lady in spirit that's around you, Susie, that's just coming in there. She's got her arm around you. She's giving you a bit of guidance, giving you a pat on the back as well over things that you've encountered and dealt with over this year. So maybe it's just a time to recharge those batteries, take account of what's actually happened to you over this year and what you've accomplished and what you've overcome, and just seeing this for what it is. I don't feel like it's anything major going on around you, but I do feel that it needs your attention. But kind of like from being up at this level to just like getting ourselves grounded, taking a few deep breaths and then assessing the situation. Right. Financially, lovely card there. Again, apologizing for the green disappearing there. The green there is all about the emotional side of things. The Queen is an authority figure. She is the Queen of Pentacles. She is a lady of her own volition. She is a lady that likes to generate her own money and her own finances, and she's very good at doing it. So Pentacles are an earthbound thing. So this is about getting your finances in a position where they're where you want them to be, and generating money probably in a way that you want to do it. So this might be the ideal opportunity to look at promotion, look at changes, look at new learning and things like that. And whatever makes your heart sing. So going forward in an employment type of thing or a business venture, this is the time to take authority and take charge and get yourself in the place where you need to be. But this is backing up exactly what I've just said to you there. So we've got the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is purely about perseverance. So I look at wands as practical. I'm carrying quite a load on my back there. So I'm looking at, right, not getting bogged down by trivialities. If somebody owns something, it is their responsibility to carry out that duty. If I own something, it is my responsibility to carry out that duty. I am not a pack horse. I am not a pack horse. So I will help people. And this is the problem when you're empathic, that you will do your level best so that other people don't feel pain, but there is a limit. So what I'm going to leave you with, Susie, is to tell you to slow down, breathe, be calm, and also know your limits. Right, guys, let's keep them going. I'm going to get through as many as I can and see how many we can get through. I'm going to do a quick shuffle of the cards there, so make sure that they are where they are. Sam, I just want to say thank you very much for your contribution the other week, where Sam, bless him, stood up in front of an audience and told people that I was a lovely guy. That was very much appreciated, even though it did make me blush. But thank you for coming in and watching my demonstration. So for anybody that's around the Lincolnshire area, Lincolnshire and Nottinghamshire area, I'm at the Newark Showground on Friday. Sorry, I am there on Friday, but I'm helping set up. I'm there on Saturday and Sunday reading at the Pure Spirit event. So if anybody's around that region, pop in and see us all. We'd love to see you. I'll be doing another demonstration at 11 o'clock on the Sunday morning, I believe, and giving my version of events from being a prison officer to being now. And I will be dressed smarter than this, I promise. But as I was saying, I'm repeating myself, but the idea with this was I couldn't make any excuses. If I walked in, the equipment set up, my cards are all here, my table's set up, I need to crack on and do it. So that was my incentive. Right, Sam, so in some way or another, there's the lovely Tower card there as it's come out again. And the Tower card for me is, like I've said on the previous reading, is all about tearing down old thought structures, old thought patterns, any beliefs that no longer suit you. It is a chaotic energy. But if you're in that sorting out mode, you might as well crack on and do the work. And what I love about these cards is the simplicity of the artwork on it. The naked person leaps out the window. Yes, we can see where we might be in a dark spot. We might be struggling with a little bit of difficulty there, getting the mindset right. We might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but a little bit of maturity, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of wisdom of how you cope and how you handle things will give you good direction and guidance as to what your next steps are. And the nakedness for me always turns out that when we get into that state where we're worried how things might turn out and anticipate what the other people's reactions would be, or how they're going to react to decisions that we're going to make, essentially it don't really matter, because at the end of it, assuming that we get up when we've had that little bit of a tumble or we've had that tear down, we're going to crack on and do something anyway. So it's kind of like reclaiming your energy back before you send it out there. Right, I'm going to keep that energy around me for productive things and productive things only. Stress and worry will never pay you anything back whatsoever. So there are a few things that you might want to change, and the Tower gives you that opportunity to do it. So for me, very, very positive card, even though it's one of the three that people fear, which is the Death card, the Tower card itself, and the Devil card. And actually, I love all three of them because it puts me right in this now moment of saying I've got something realistic to sort out. I don't predict it. I just feel that it's a chaotic energy, and I'm the sort of person that when it's all dropped in my lap, I think, bugger it, I'm just gonna crack on and deal with it. You've got the High Priestess there as well, back in again, that lovely lady, for the link between the esoteric and the earthbound. So this is carrying on with your studies, carrying on with your own spirituality, connecting in with your guides and inspirers. I'm being told to look out for your hearing changes. So there's that tonality where I feel like your angels and your guides are coming in and connecting in. So keep on cracking on with that, because for me, I'll never be the finished article. Even though I'm doing this professionally, I tune in with my guides every single day, even if it's a few words. And it's funny that I walk up into here, and one of my sure signs that they're switching on with me is like a boo in my ear. As soon as I walked through the door, before I'd even said anything tonight, they were there with me and working with me. So trusting in your own intuition there. And as I say there, tapping into anything that you've not previously tapped into. So don't go through life with any fear. go through life with that adventurous mindset and deal with things as and when they come up, rather than going into what if land. Ace of Pentacles, and forget that just right there in that camera shot there, that the Ace of Pentacles, new money, new finances, and it's an idea. So it'll be news of, potential, things like that. And before we get to the 2, it just means that we've got something in our mind that we'd like to have a look at and potentially move forward on. Until we get to the energy of the 2, the 2 is about choices and decisions. So once we've got past the idea and the thought process, we're then into the decision-making process. So do all of your research. Prioritize seems to be your key word. Don't try and take too much on board. So enjoy, because there are some good things coming up for you, but don't get overwhelmed by choice, which seems to be the running theme. Right. So Laura, I've lost your comment there. So I hope you're still on, guys, because I'll keep going through the cards as much as I can, but I hold it back. Right. Hang on. I found your comment now, just as I've said that. Because I'm streaming off StreamYard, it's not like when you get it on Facebook where you can scroll it back down. Sometimes we just lose that a little bit. So Danny, Laura. Right. You know what I'm going to say to you, I think, because, I mean, Laura's a very gifted reader in her own right. Don't get bogged down by anxiety. Right. If I'm doing readings with anybody, right, I want to be open and honest when I'm working with anybody's energy. I suffer from anxiety and the odd bout of depression. But my key to it all is, and then what, right? Because if I say I suffer, I'm giving myself permission to stay in that mindset. Right. I experience it. So I'm changing the energy around that sentence. I experience it. But what I don't allow it to do is to control me. So it's part of my story. And I openly admit that it is part of my story, but it doesn't own me. So when I get an anxious feeling, I want evidence to tell me that I may be doing something wrong, or there's something there that I need to look at. I do not get worried about going into the future, because there's absolutely no point. I will spend a ton of my energy when I find my head running off into the future about what I'm going to do or who I'm going to let down, and just go, right, until I get there, there is no point in me doing anything like that whatsoever. So I go put kettle on. Because essentially therapy for me is all about breaking current state of behavior. So if you can challenge your mindset where there's an anxious or worrying feeling coming in at the moment, right, I want evidence. If there's no evidence, right, I need to find something to do to distract my mind. So I go and put the kettle on. And that's my way of dealing with it. There are days when I get up and I'm in the wrong frame of mind, but I don't let it have a hold on me. I don't let it be my anchor. So don't label yourself as having high anxiety, because from what I know of you, you deal with things. And if you remember the conversation that we had about the holidays and things like that, look how that turned out. You was anxious before you went. Well, I bet you had an absolutely brilliant time. Right. So 3 cards for you very, very quickly. So emotionally, we need to move on from something, putting things in the background there. I look at this card and you're not listening to your intuition there. And this is a big part of anybody that's a reader or a guider or a spiritual worker in any sense there. It's coming to know what your limits are. So when we look at the cups in disarray there, there's a lot of long grass there. And what that long grass tells me is there's been something around you emotionally that's been in disarray for quite a long time. Now, if you know your limits and you know that you can put your hand on your heart and say, I've done the level best that I can to get this sorted out, and yet whatever I do, there seems to be something there that knocks me off kilter or happens that knocks things out of place, that's the time where I've got to stand and just go, do you know what? I've done my best. And then I can walk away, and I can walk away into that new horizon, and I can sleep, right? Because the thing is with me, when I'm working with people's energy, if there's an issue there around their emotions, or it's been a heated situation, or there's been some upset, I will give them more than enough chances to have their say. I will give them more than enough chances to sit down with me and discuss. But once I'm done, I'm done. Right, it's probably part of the old prison officer in me that sort of comes in with that discipline that says, right, no more. I am not putting myself through the ringer. So we've got the Star card coming in there, which yet again is another beautiful card. The Star card for me is all about healing. It's all about getting yourself back together in an emotional sense. So we're talking about after that, where we've moved on emotionally. The star for me, the only time I ever bring in a little bit of religion into any sort of readings that I do, is they found the baby Jesus by following the star. So for me, this is all about lighting up your pathway. It's going into better times. It's showing you pathways that you can go down and you can achieve and make yourself feel better about yourself. But sometimes, instead of waiting for opportunities, we have to blaze a trail. We have to stick the light up. We have to trust in our own intuition, our own guidance system, and make these things happen. Open the doors. You know, a lot of people spend a lot of time kicking on doors and hope that they open. Here's an idea: kick the buggers through, get through there, push on past any sort of sticking obstacles, right? And do not let past, I'm not going to say failures, but past where you haven't quite met the mark where you want to be, or things haven't turned out to be, don't let them be your legacy, right? Because the thing is, and I've learned this quite a lot lately, there's big people that have come and gone from my life just recently, including one bereavement. And I'm sat here and lots of things have gone through my mind, but at the end of the day, what can I do to influence it, good, bad, or indifferent? So I've got a pathway to build going forward that doesn't involve certain people, but I'm happy to do that. So this is where I feel with you, Laura, that this is about prioritizing you and your energy. But this is where I'm preaching to somebody with a word that I don't like myself personally when it's given to me as when I'm receiving a reading or any messages, is patience. Because we've got the lovely Chariot card. The Chariot card there is all about progression, and it's all about keeping those wheels turning. But if you've got lots of things in your mind at this moment in time, then what is going on is that you're not prioritizing, so the vehicle gets a bit shaky. It starts weaving all over the road. So great success is there potentially on this road ahead, but you've kind of got to get hold of the reins there and steer yourself down. So where the patience aspect of it is coming in is that you are progressing forward, but don't expect any overnight changes. So the sense of where I feel that you're going to make big inroads will be into the start of next year. So look at this thing now about tying up any loose ends between now, the holiday period, and towards the end of the year. And as you go into the new part of the things, particularly towards the end of January next year, I think things are going to be on the up. But you've just got to trust in yourself and your abilities, and don't get bogged down by any doubt. Thank you. Keep going, guys. Thank you very much. I'll just keep them going up there, because once I've got that highlighted, I shouldn't lose comments there. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate that. If you're still here, so I'm looking at the time. Yeah, all those comments have all gone through really, really quickly, but thank you. Right, I said that I don't endorse people, but there's Andrea Louise Barlow on there. I do endorse her because she's absolutely amazing. So if you're drawn to have a reading, she is a genuine lady. But like me, she won't bug you or offer you free readings or anything like that. But check out her pages, because she is an amazing lady. Right, Ange. Right, what I'm smiling at. Right, so we've got preparation to do before we take on our tasks. Right, and what we're going to do before we take on our task is look wholesale at ourselves. Look at what's going on in that inner being. So what I'm asking you to do is to put down your arms, put down your swords. So swords are all about the thought processes, a matter of the mind and the intellect and how you think. So adequate communication, because the blue is at the top of the card there. The blue is about the throat chakra and communication. So while I'm looking at this is time to convalesce. This is time to rest. You know, this year I feel has not been the easiest for you. There's been one or two big battles for you. And there's probably a couple of other things there that are kicking about that still need your attention, but not at half mast, not at half energies. So when I've got the Four of Swords there, the Four of Swords is like taking the time out to have a rest. And rather than like I was saying with other people there about resting and then going again, this, I feel like I really need to hit the stop button. I really need to just walk away from something, walk away from the heat of the battle, take my time out, because I just feel that energetically, I feel a bit wounded that maybe some people have got a little bit too close to the mark. They've been a bit insulting. I've got this feeling there that I've got stuff on my chest that I want to get off, but I feel like powerless to do it, sort of thing. So when this Four of Swords comes in, this is taking the time out and the opportunity to reflect on what's going on, knowing that later on down the line that there are certain circumstances that will rear their head again, but don't get worried about it. Deal with it as and when your energy is at a better level. Practically, we've got decisions to make. So the Two of Wands there is all about treading the path of choice. Wands for me about fire. Fire is fuel. If you've got fuel, then you will make those choices. Don't get procrastinating. Go down a path, explore it. And if it works for you, brilliant. And if it don't, retrace your steps and start again. Don't be afraid to make changes where they're needed. I always feel that Wands are about that practical sense. So if you think about your job, your house, where you live, that sort of thing, this is about making choices into what will affect you. So if you imagine that we've got a structure that's got to have that base in there. So the red there is the root chakra. It is your foundation stone. So what goes on top of it now is got to have that strong structure underneath to hold it all up. So this is about choices, about where you live, what job you do, you know, what affects your everyday daily life. Choices to be made. Weigh them up and don't be frightened of making the bigger decisions, but only when you're at 100%. Now, in mindset wise, we've got the Devil card. And as I said, that is one of the 3 cards there. It's absolutely beautiful in my deck. But the Devil card is nothing to be scared of. I look for simplistic explanations. I think of what do you know it as? I think of the army saying, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, so that you can keep things simple so that you can explain them. And then you don't have to remember what the explanation is. So when I see the Devil card, I just think, right, what are you burning yourself with? What are you blinkered by? What are you punishing yourself over? Because what this card is in traditional cards, if you look at some of the decks that I trained with, you've got 2 people chained to like a block of concrete with a devil in the background. So where are your thoughts chained to? What are you stuck with? What are you punishing yourself about? What are you hurt over? And this is a card of self-enslavement. So if it's the word self, that means that you're in charge of the way that you think. Now, keeping it simple, I would look at that card and just go, right, I've got a blinker on there. I've got something covering my eye so I can't see clearly. So I take that off. And the first thing I'd notice is, bugger me, I'm on fire. Right. So I wouldn't want to be on fire and in pain. What is the source of that pain? Can I do anything to influence it? Can I do anything to change it? If the answer is yes, I'm going to change it. If the answer is no, then I'm not. I'm going to move on and move forward. So choices, changes, convalescence, and not burning yourself over things that aren't your fault. Da, 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 da. Oh, I'm a river goddess, right? Oh, you ducky, right? If you're such a good river goddess, then please crack on and do your thing. Go away, thank you. Yeah, brilliant. I will go through all of these at the end, guys, and get rid of them. So thank you for that. Andrea De Freitas. I thought we'd got you, but obviously we hadn't if you've come through on there. Right, so bear with me, guys. This is a good shuffle. Oh, dear me. I'm going to say, I do find it off-putting with this sort of thing, but the other thing is I'm equally determined, because the one thing about me that I don't know if anybody knows is I'm a stubborn bugger, right? I'm an individual. I'm unique. This is not my comfort zone dealing with the computer side of stuff. But when you're dealing with me, the man, this sort of shit is just piddly. You know, just get off my screen, get off my live feed. If you're as good as what you actually say you are, do it on your own, right? I'll come and watch you. But I'll tell you something that will be different between me and you is that if I came on and watched you, I'd watch the work that you were doing. Now, I wouldn't be poaching off anybody else. Just a thought. But if you're a river goddess, you should know this already. Oh, right. So, Andrea, so motherly energy in the spirit world is coming through for you. And she's talking about just cooling your jets a little bit at this moment in time. So wearing your heart on your sleeve a little bit, maybe, because we've got the Queen, he says, the Queen of Cups there. And the Queen of Cups, for me, she's got this sort of moody, sort of nonchalant way about her, where people think that she doesn't care. She's a little bit cold. She's a little bit withdrawn. Now, the way that I take that card is not in that literal way. I think that maybe if you're a bit of a hothead and you react and you want to look after people, which is what I'm like, you know, if I get involved in an emotional situation, I want to take charge, I want to get cammed up, I want to go get all my battle gear on, and I want to go and stand next to people. It's not always the answer. Calm objectivity, where you can switch off that heart feelings, that emotions, and just go, right, I need room for the analytical to come in. So the saying that's going through my head at the minute around you, Andrea, is let cooler heads prevail. You see, the thing is, it's all right being right, and you know that what you're sort of fighting for is absolutely the correct battlefield to be on, but not when you haven't got enough energy to see it all the way through. So sometimes we just have to take that backward step. And this is the thing with you. I'm just seeing this vision of, I don't know anything about you, but just got this vision in my mind of the little Rottweiler on the end of the lead, everything. But it's, again, I think your key word is about focus. So not getting distracted by over emotional people. Taking charge of your emotion, because the Queen is the authority figure. She's also underlined there in orange, and the orange is all about your intuition and your gut feeling. So maybe, again, we've got to step out of that emotional sense and start tuning into what is actually real. Got the smokers coughing in and around me then as well. I'm just bringing in somebody there that I feel is like doing this with my hands. I feel a little bit anxious. I'm rubbing my hands together. So I don't know whether she's bringing in the thought of anxiety around you, or whether she's bringing in that she's connecting with you. So for anybody who watches my lives when I do them, I always feel that with my own particular work, if I've got warmth around me coming in, then the warmth is angelic and it's healing, and you're bringing in your healing guides. If it's cold, which is what I'm feeling at this moment around you, Andrea, then this is your spirit family coming in around you to hold your hand while you go through these next stages. So what I'm being told is to tell you is to have faith in what you're doing. And I've got the Pink Floyd song, All in All, It's Just Another Brick in the Wall. So there's a sense with you that maybe you're starting again on something, or you're rebuilding or restructuring. So have that confidence that you're on the right path, because you're the one that's directing it. So take charge. 3 of Wands there is on a practical level there. So this is the idea that the rebuild has already taken form as a thought. The 2 is where we've come down that pathway and we started to make the relevant decisions that suit our choices. And the 3rd is where we're waiting for that next step. So this is bringing in whatever it is that you're looking for and solidifying it and putting a base down. I feel that these tasks will come to fruition by April, May, June time of next year. So it's good time for you to put the foundations in, but not get overawed by other people's emotions. And right at this moment in time, test things. So like if I'm looking for support from people, I have a good look round of, if I'm going to launch something, I'm going to have a look round who supports me. Like when I come on here, there's a select few people that support me 100% all the way through, you know, right from the beginning. They've understood when I've had a wobble. They've understood when I've been sort of flying high, and they've consistently stuck with me right from day one. So they're the sort of people that you want in your corner when you're about to launch or do any changes. So where I'm going with this little story is the 7 of Wands there is when you decide to launch and do whatever it is that you're doing that's going to make the changes to your future, don't expect that everybody's going to back you. Don't expect that everybody's going to understand why you're doing it. This, for me, is all about sorting the men from the boys in the best possible way that I can put that across. Right, who's in my corner? Who's going to trust me? Now, I'm getting less and less inclined as I get older to explain my actions to anybody. But there are certain situations, as I've been saying to people just recently, where you have to sort of state your case and put yourself forward. So with this, right, defend whatever you need to defend. If it's important enough to you, then do it. If it's just a case of trying to placate somebody and tell them what they want to hear, don't even bother, you know, because if the people understand you in your rawest form, they'll back you whatever. Right, you know, if you put the phone to them, right, I need a bit of advice, I need a bit of guidance, I need a bit of support, they will be there for you. Right, just very, very briefly, I want to give you a gentleman in the spirit world that passed from the heart condition or something going on around the chest, because I've got this rising and falling pain around my chest area. I feel it's a gentleman, and I feel like when he passed, or up towards him passing, he didn't realize that it was a heart problem. He thought that it was something like indigestion or something like that. And the sense with him is that before he passed, it was too late to do anything about it. And I don't feel like he knew anything about it. I sense whatever took him, there'd been a lead up to it, but he'd not noticed the signs. And I think when this heart condition got to him, or this chest condition got to him, it was too late and he'd passed. So I just want to leave his love with you there. Right, so keep going down here. So my River Goddess is still on there, but that's just comments. We blocked them, I think. So we'll keep going. Have a spammer, can't block. Yeah, I think I've got that. I think I bought Lemurian Chris. Right. I'll answer that one, Sam. Truthfully, I don't know. Maybe that'd be a bit of a Google thing, or other search engines for a bit of research for that, because I don't know is the truthful answer. I will tell you exactly what I am. I collect shiny stuff. I'm a jackdaw. I have to go to other people to explain why. Sorry, I just saw a comment there. I have to go to other people to explain to me why I've got that particular crystal or that drawing to it, and then I operate it accordingly. So on that one, Sam, I'm afraid I can't answer that for you. Hi, Jewel. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you as well. Love a bit of guidance. Yeah, we've done that one, haven't we? Right, so we'll keep going through. Right. I'll do Susan and Dizzy J. If you're still on, I will get to you. Right, so keep shuffling these cards here. Right, I'm drawn to go with my other cards for you, Susan. Let's see where I'm going. And then one off the top. So this is a little bit different where we're working tonight. Ah, yes. Now it makes sense. All right, so your tarot card, the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is all about decisions and what decisions and what pathways that you choose going forward. All about your practical. This is about, I feel, what I sense around you. It's about going through the recovery period, coming out the other side of it, and then just feeling a little bit overwhelmed about what your next steps are. So this is a great card because it's very simple. And as I said, I'm a very simple man. And it talks about making choices. Right. Doesn't necessarily have to be the left or the right. How about ploughing your own furrow and just going, right, okay, that looks like it might be all right. That looks like it's all right, but it doesn't quite fit me. So I'm going to go down the central path. I'm going to dig that path out. As long as you lay down decent foundations, you cannot go wrong. If you can own your decision-making process when you go down there and just say, right, I am going to do the level best that I can. This is why these Facebook memes do so well, because when you know better, you do better. So armed with the information that you've got at this moment in time, make a decision. Go down the pathway that suits you. As I said earlier on in the broadcast, wands are all about fire. Fire is a fuel. So that is fueling your intent about going forward and making choices based on the root chakra. So this is building your foundations for what's to come over these next 6 months. Right. Only one block, I sense. Now, I don't quite know whether it's literally what this card talks about, or whether it's frustration, whether it's being held back, whether it's the past influencing you, whether there's a little bit of worry or anxiety or things like that, where you kind of gone like this. And it's like you've got your tin hat on. So you've not had enough space to focus on what you want to achieve going forward. That is all clearing, right? So we make the decisions, we make a commitment towards ourselves that we can and we will go forward, because what I'm finishing up with for you there is the blank canvas card. Now, 2 ways of reading this when I use this card. The blank canvas is literally what it says on the tin, that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, right? Which for me is a very basic instruction. The bit that I now use it as, there are days, as I said earlier in the broadcast, where I get up and I am not particularly happy with my performance. I'm not in the right mindset. There might be anxiety. There might be other things going on. And then I stop. All right, grab my famous cup of tea, have a brew, take a few deep breaths, and just go, do you know what? I'm doing all right. Right? I don't owe anybody anything. I've not made any, you know, I'm looking after my family. I'm doing the basics. And I look myself in the mirror and go, okay, we're not firing on all cylinders today, but good enough is good enough. And as you get up and you feel stronger day by day, then you do a little bit more. On the days where you're not feeling so strong, you do a little bit less. But do not get into that habit of self-criticizing, self-prophesizing that you're not good enough and buying into all of that monkey chatter that your mind tells you. Look at that blank canvas and just say, right, today, and this is one where I had to learn this lesson, because I turned around to somebody the other day and said, I am absolutely shit at tech. And he said, do you realize what the universe has just heard from you? And he said, you need to change the energy around that statement. So I'm not shit at tech. Truthfully, I'm not very good at it, but I'm open-minded enough to learn, and I'm flexible to make those changes as I go along. And as I experience more of that better energy, then I will get stronger and I will get better at it. So I won't be beating or berating myself up over my lack of technical knowledge. I just keep myself in check. So looking in that mirror, I'm doing good enough because it's a blank canvas. Okay, so thank you. Right. All right, yeah, hopefully you got that one. No, let's just let me get rid of this one. There's another one there. Yeah, keep going. Love the picture in the background. Thank you, Valde. I appreciate that. I hope all's well in the lovely island there. Right. Sorry, I'll tell you what's happened. I'm looking really, really close, and I never like to mispronounce anybody's name, but just before I came up here, my bloody dog licked my glasses. It was having a fuss with me, and I can't see. So I'm looking at that, and even though I've got my glasses on, it's really blurred. So I'm just peeking at it. Michelle Khan. Yes, let's do your card. Let's see where we go with it. Hopefully you're still on, guys. Thanks for having the patience with me. 3 cards have come out for you, Michelle, there, that has just dropped in. Please tell me if I pronounced it wrong. I do apologize, but it's just the way that I've read it there. High Priestess. This is the 3rd outing for it tonight. The High Priestess is the link between the esoteric and the earthbound. She's bringing in that stability and that energy. She's just, I feel she's helping you calm down your energy a little bit and get you grounded. I don't know whether you're a little bit flighty with your energy. And what I mean by this is that certain people come around me, and when you look at them, you go, and all you can see is like, oh, whoa, their energy sort of arrives in the room before them. And I sense with you that you're really intelligent as well. So that is one of those combinations that can be quite draining on your own individual self, because your mind's running at 100 miles an hour, but you're trying to bring in structure. So this, for me, is saying to you about getting grounded, getting your feet planted firmly on the floor. Compartmentalizing with you as well seems to be important, getting yourself organized and what is priority to you. Tapping into your potential. So new experiences, and the words that are being shouted at me from the spirit world are about non-material wealth. Now, I only learned about non-material wealth in the last few days. Non-material wealth is all about things that will help bring in money or access to new learning and things that will benefit you probably further on down the line than the current moment. So if you've got any new learnings, if you've got any like courses or anything like that, anything that you want to look into, now's a good time to start tapping into things that you've maybe not had the courage to, maybe you've not had the time to, maybe circumstances have prevented you. There's a sense of a build-up around you, but I need you kind of like on this plane rather than up in the air. Spiritually, I'm sensing that you're just opening the doors or just making some changes. I feel there's a gentleman's energy in the spirit world that's coming through there. how I feel his energy is a little bit guarded around you, is a little bit protective of you. So maybe you just need that at the moment, or maybe you just need somebody with that sort of energy that you can lean back on. He's talking around that he's not gone very far, doesn't quite always agree with all of this sort of thing, but he's quite happy in the sense that he comes in and supports you when it's necessary. So tap into your potential, trust in your own abilities. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles there, news of money, finances, and opportunities to get yourself going forward and promote yourself and bring in that higher level of finances, money, wealth, and non-material wealth. How are you going to do that? By utilizing your skills and talents, because the Three of Pentacles there is like the master craftsman there that is manufacturing money by his own abilities. He's standing there and he's holding them up there, and there's pride, there's a sense of achievement around you. So over these next 3 months, we've got tasks on. So to take the idea from actually being in the headspace to being in that practical space where it's actually giving you the results that you're looking for. So an exciting 3 or 4 months ahead of you. No time like the present to get started. So as I say, just bring that energy down a little bit. And I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you. Right, so I think I've blocked a few. So I will go, as I say, I will go back through, guys, and get rid of the comments there. I do apologise if they've affected your enjoyment of this. Right, anything coming on for me that would be helpful. Right, Julie, hello and welcome, and thanks for coming on. Whether it'll be any help for you, I don't know. I always trust spirit. So right, let's see what we've got for you. I'm told to do 1 and the 2 again. So we've got the 1 tarot card and we've got the 2 angel cards. Oh, interesting. Right, I don't know anything about you, Julie, but as I say, thanks for coming on. I really, really appreciate that. And 2 things for you to deal with before you can move on is dealing with that anger and that frustration. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything medically qualified, so I cannot advise people on any medical issue. But this is my own personal experience that I have had over the years, a lot of emotional upset, a lot of frustration about not knowing me well enough. And what I tend to do, rather than blow up at people, is I internalize it all and I overanalyze it. And that is where I get depressed. Now, for me, depression is anger that I've repressed. So there's things there that have not gone to your will, have not suited you in the best possible ways. So have you bottled things up? Have you got angry? Have you got upset over things but not expressed it? So this is just a sense of finding a way to get rid of that anger and that frustration, and don't let it come back in and don't repress it, because this is how hypnotherapists earn a fortune, by tapping into your energies and removing those blocks. Because what's coming out of that when we deal with that anger and that frustration, I don't know why I've got to mention the month for September, so I'm being shouted out about September, whether that's changes or whether that's a gentleman's energy that's coming through and talking about it being an anniversary or a passing or something of significance. There's a gentleman's energy that's coming through like that, that wants to hold your hand at this moment in time. And I think what he's doing is just helping you stabilize your thought processes at the moment. Blank canvas cards coming out again in force there, and I do keep shuffling this card, but in your case, that blank canvas is to tell you and to reinforce that whatever you're looking to do over these next couple of years, rather than months, the world is your oyster, right? It is purely down to your mindset, how you invest in yourself going forward. So deal with the anger and deal with the frustration, and start to put those blocks onto the pathway so that you've got a place that you can stabilize on and then move forward. Your tarot card, yeah, right, 10 of Wands. So I always see the 10 of Wands as a bit of a beast of burden card, because this is about delegation of your responsibilities, looking at the load that you're carrying in a practical level. Are you being bogged down by other people's occurrences, problems, things that they should be sorting out themselves? And I look for the simple answer with most cards, and that person there can't possibly see straight because he's got that sort of stoop posture, which is forcing him down to look at the ground. Whereas if he stopped took off those, had a look to see what was his responsibility, what did he own, what was down to him, then he would soon see that not all of it was his. So this is about delegating responsibilities back to people that own them. It is about letting go of things that no longer suit you anymore. And it is all about reducing and lightening your load. Once you can do that and you can get rid of the old, then it gives you the space to bring in the new. So the key word for you going forward is transformation, but also about confidence and belief in yourself. Look at your self-esteem level, what you're putting out to the universe. Like I said there earlier on about being crap at tech, the universe recognizes that frequency and we get to experience more of the sort of things that we put out there. So whatever this issue is that you need to get out of your system, get it out of your system and then replenish it with better thoughts and better feelings. So anything that is not useful anymore, get rid of it. And anything that gives you knowledge or gives you an opportunity to make those changes, then go out there and do it and enjoy it. So thank you very much. See where I'm going. So I've got yet another one in here, right? This is say I'm doing my best to keep myself there. I do apologize, Stacey Cooper. Right, I'm going to go on for another couple of minutes and then I'm going to get off. Thanks for tuning in, Stacey. I really appreciate that. Oh, that's an interesting one. That one's just fallen out for you, Stacey. So 3 cards for you. I did a reading for a lady in America recently, and she described this card, the 3 of Cups, as a gal pal tribe. So this is being in a place where you can celebrate with your nearest and dearest. You know, cups are all about emotions. This is about bringing all sides of your family together. It's being in that place where you're drawing off the love and support of all of those that are closest to you. Maybe that's just what you need at this moment in time. Maybe it's just we need a blowout. We need time away from stresses and strains of the outside world and drawing those together that you're closest with. Because for me, when you've got all of those people in the corner, you can move mountains. So I feel that is a lovely celebratory card. Right, we've got the 2 of Pentacles. So in some way or another, it's to reinforce and say to you that you've got all of the abilities that you now need to juggle your responsibilities in a financial sense. Maybe at the beginning, it can be a little bit bumpy while you get things in order and get things sorted out and in a place where you want to be. But Pentacles are a very earthbound thing, so it's keeping yourself grounded and making those decisions that benefit you. Don't overreach. So I always think about when I hear the word promotion in my mind, that promotion can literally mean going up the ladder in something or going higher in your business or stuff like that, but also about self-promotion, how you put yourself across in something. It is very important how you put yourself across to the outside world, because as I repeatedly say, the frequencies will be responded to from the outside world, the universe, God, whatever it is that you want to know it as, is to what you put out. So if you think about like a boomerang effect, what you throw out comes back in. So over these next few months, decisions to be made about finances and juggling and getting yourself in a place where you're grounded, where you're level, and knowing that February, March, April time next year that you are going to be reaping the rewards. Sorry, that was the words I was looking for. Come towards the end of next year, we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is my, because it's a completion card at the 10, it's rewards. It is having the money in place for the bigger things and the better things in life. But it's like with anything, if you're working towards retirement or you're working towards a big deal, you've got to save, you've got to work your angles and get things in place and try them out and trust that they're working. There might be a couple of blind alleys that we go down where they don't quite work out. They've got to be discarded and recovered from. But at the end of the day, with that as a target, the 10 there, that is saying there that you are on course for where you want to be. So look out for exciting developments towards the end of next year. So thank you very much. Right, guys, I've done my best to get through as many as I can. Hi. Right, so I want to recognize everybody. So thank you very much, Riddy, for coming on from YouTube there. Are you doing questions? Right, let me just, yes, what I'm doing is actually card readings there. Riddy, I'm coming towards the end of my time. Yeah, it is difficult, but it's one of those things that until I get enough people onto my YouTube channel, where I'm hoping that people will migrate to, and I can get more formation around that, because what you can do on YouTube is appoint a moderator for you that doesn't distract me. They will take off these comments while I'm working. So it is sad, but it's what I face with, because I've got 2,000 followers on Facebook and 153, I think, on YouTube. And I'm trying to get the balance up there. So the aims and the ideals of this channel for me on YouTube is to get working with people's energies without the cards. It's working with guidance and working with, like you were saying there, about questions and things like that. It's working with your energy, and it's what I'm passionate about is helping people with their mental health. But as I was saying right at the top of the broadcast, what my guides and inspirers were saying to me, I got a little bit downhearted about YouTube, because the following started really, really well. It took off like a rocket in the space of a couple of months, and now it's just leveled out. And I got like, oh, is it worth it for me? Well, it is. But what I needed to focus on was giving people what they seem to want. And at the moment, that is the card reading. So there is things in the background that I want to build on, but I also have to work on myself and with my limited knowledge with tech. And I'm doing my best to remedy all of that. And once I can, I hope that people will follow me, and then I'll be able to do a lot more work. So thank you. Let me have a look there. Can I get a reading? Brian, thank you very much. And as I was saying to you guys, I'm going to be on a few minutes more, because I did mean to come off after an hour, but you guys have been so wonderful. Let me just see. Right. I will do yours first, and then Riddy, I will get to you as soon as I can with that one. Hi, Lisa, Louise, hope you're well. Hi, Julia, hope you're well. Right, let's have a look. Brian Oliver, sorry, I'm looking at through my mucky glasses again. Right. I like to work with honesty and integrity, and I can be a little bit blunt and direct. I don't do wishy-washy either. So for your progress going forward, there's a sense of weeding out that is needed doing around you. One or two people that, when I was saying earlier on about when you've got people in your corner, you can move mountains. This is a sense of having somebody around you that's maybe undermining you and is getting into your thoughts and is either literally stealing off you or stealing off you emotionally and your time, because I've got my 5 of Swords card there. And if we can just get that in the right frame there, in the background, those people that are laid on the floor. So the man in front there is triumphantly raising his sword. And swords are all about the mind, the intellect, and how you process, how you think and what you do. The problem with the 5 is that we haven't got all of the details. We haven't got the bigger picture. Now, this card is known as this person is theft. And this is, as I say, it could be taking your time. It could be taking your energy. But whatever it is, it's occupying your thoughts. If you're worried about somebody else's integrity and their intentions towards you, and you've got worries or fears in the background, then for me, when this card comes out, it's saying, right, you're right to raise those concerns, because this person around you is selfish. They don't care about collateral damage. They don't care about hurting other people's feelings, and they will quite happily trample all over you to get wherever they want to get to. So when this card comes out for me, I look at this and I think, right, I'm aware of you. I am not an advocate of fighting or arguing with anybody, but quite equally, I'm not a doormat either. So I will not stand by while somebody does something in my eyesight that compromises me or undermines my confidence, my integrity, or anything like that. So I mark the cards. Right, let's have a word. Let's communicate. Let's say why I'm feeling that this is going on around you. And you better have a satisfactory answer, or I'll take the action of just walking away. And say, I give people more than enough chances to speak to me if they think that there is an issue, but I will not get bogged down by liars and BSers. Being careful how I speak tonight, because normally I just let fly, but I'm going to be a bit careful tonight. So Seven of Cups is all about the choices. The choices are all going to be good going forward over these next 3 months, but don't get overwhelmed by too many choices. They're all good choices, but it's looking at things, prioritizing and going where you want to go, right? So don't get worried about anything. Look at your decisions. Don't get anxious about not making decisions, but it's finding that balance right the way in between and just going, that looks good, but I'll go and do it. Because the danger with this card is that though it's really, really proactive, that if we don't do something, the chances are it's like the window of opportunity with things. By the time we've got up the courage to do something and stop worried, that opportunities may be gone. So whereas been talking a lot tonight about going with the thoughts and the intellect, this is following your heart, following your gut feeling as well, following your true pathway. I feel that I've got the Bob Dylan song in my head with you, that the times they are a-changing. And just to finish off there with the strength card, the strength card for me is all about reminding you just who you are, right? It's balancing the feminine with the masculine. So if it's relationships, whether it's a work-based thing or a personal relationship, it's getting the balance between the two. But also, I understand that in this life that we maybe have to make compromises to make relationships and partnerships work, but at what expense? So my feeling with you, Brian, is to talk about boundaries. It's to talk about people around you that are draining you, and getting your energy levels back up to a normal level before you make any major decisions. Gentleman in the spirit world there just raises a hand to you and just says he's bloody proud of what you've done over these last 3 months. Well done, keep up the good work. And I will leave that one with you. Right, just very quickly, I'll see if I can get through a couple more. When will I sign my LVM MH modelling contract and relocate to Paris? Right, this year. Well, Riddy, I'm thinking that my gut feeling is not this year. Right, I'm putting out. So my way, I don't do predictions, so this is totally off the cuff for me. I imagine having a tennis ball in my hand that I throw out and it comes back, and then as I turn that over, that is the answer that I will give to you. So it's one of those that you can't overthink or overanalyze. So I've thrown the ball out, it's come back to me, and I want to say March, April time of next year. So thank you very much. Right, guys, if there's any comments there, we've gone off there. Let me just keep going there. Right, there's another block there. I think actually, guys, what I'm going to do, because I'm getting behind with the blocking users and things like that. And as I say, this really was a test for me to do this tonight without any excuses to crack on here. I will be back. As I say, anybody who wants readings with me, I do readings online through this medium, as in StreamYard. £35 for 30 to 40 minutes, utilizing tarot and angel cards and mediumship, if there is any that comes through. As I say, for anybody that's around the East Midlands area, on Saturday and Sunday of this week, I'm at the Newark Showground, where I'll be demonstrating and working with the energies and doing readings. I think that's, if anybody's interested in my book Graceful Thoughts is available from me, and the details can be quite easily found on my other channels there, but it's mediumrick007@gmail.com. And I just want to say thank you for the amazing support, good numbers that have come on tonight. And as I say, thank you very much for your patience with the spammers and the people like that. I will now go off and edit all of this, and hopefully it didn't spoil your enjoyment of it. Thank you for all of the love and all of the guidance and the upliftment that you guys provided me with. And until the next one, thank you very much, and good night. And well, what do I want to say? Yeah, good night, but that doesn't quite seem enough. So what I'm going to say to you is namaste, which is a strange one for me, but peace and love and light out to you all, guys. Thank you. Thanks very much. Good night.